I was first diagnosed with coronary artery disease at the time of my heart attack and sudden cardiac arrest. Before that time, I had no idea that I had heart disease. I was 50 years old and I took a walk that morning with my friend. We went on a 3-mile walk and I had a quick, sharp chest pain on the drive home from that walk. During that walk, I did feel a little out of breath. And I thought, well, I'm too young to be having a heart attack. I don't smoke. I eat fairly healthy. I maybe just carry a few extra pounds. I just walked 3 miles. I'll be fine. I must just be having an anxiety attack or I'm just stressed out. I'm really trying to talk myself out of it. And I thought, well, I do feel like a little lightheaded, a little nauseous. My left arm maybe feels a little tingly. It's so important to listen to our bodies. So I decided I would sit down again, and if I had any more of these chest pains, that I would drive myself to the hospital. So I had another one. I called my husband on the way, and I said, I'm driving to the hospital because I'm having chest pains, but I shouldn't be doing this today because I have a lot to do. And he said, no, just go get checked out. So it was 1 block from the hospital. I stopped at a red light and I had another chest pain. And that was my first real sense of panic. And I decided to look both ways and run the red light, which actually saved my life. I parked right in front of the emergency room doors and I walked in and I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. And the woman at the desk said, why do you think you're having a heart attack? And I never answered that question because seconds after I arrived at the emergency room, I had suffered sudden cardiac arrest. It was nothing I was really thinking about at my age and at the current time. I thought that was something maybe that would, happen to me much later in life. My mother was diagnosed with coronary artery disease when she was 60. And at that time, they didn't use stents as a treatment for heart blockages. So my mom had balloon angioplasty, and that was a successful procedure in treating her blockages. She went 24 years without having another heart problem. And when she was 84, she had a stent, and she had her first heart attack when she was 90. My mother had a stroke when she was 79 years old. At that time, I was in the hospital and I had just given birth to our youngest daughter. And I was on the phone with my mother and she told me that she was having problems swallowing her sandwich. And I also noticed that her speech was slurred and she was having some weakness on the one side of her body. So he brought her to the hospital. I went down to the emergency room and I stayed with my mother, and they told me they did not think that she had a stroke, but they were going to keep her all night for observation. At midnight, I went home with my newborn, and during the night, my mother had a full-blown stroke, a very severe stroke. And at the time when she was in the hospital, they said she would never go home and live on her own again. My mother did go home and live on her own for quite a few more years. Coronary artery disease has in many ways changed my life for the better. I live a much healthier life. I exercise more. I eat healthier. I know more about watching my stress. I'm a more confident person, and I have met many people that I would not otherwise have met. And to know other women that are not only thriving, but are also very dedicated to helping others is just very inspiring and life-changing for me. I decided to share my story out of a desire to help others. My cardiologist early on said that I could help others live healthier lives, but I really wasn't convinced. However, I do now believe that that was part of the reason that I was given a second chance. And it's very rewarding to see others make those positive changes. I also love to give others hope after they have had a heart disease diagnosis. I would like those that have been diagnosed with coronary artery disease and those at risk for coronary artery disease to know the signs and symptoms of heart attack and stroke. If you think you're having a heart attack or stroke, please call 911. Your life is worth it. Don't second guess yourself. Listen to your body. Know these signs and symptoms. If you do have coronary artery disease, know that it isn't a death sentence. There is life to be lived, and there are many positive changes that you can make. Don't ignore your diagnosis. Do everything that you can to fight it. Decide today to make one positive change on your path to living a healthier life.